One morning, 2 hours after dawn, the first manned rocket in the history of the world takes off from the Taruma Range, Australia. The three observers see on their scanning screens a quickly receding Earth. The rocket is guided from the ground by remote control as they rise through the ozone layer, the stratosphere, the ionosphere, beyond the air. They are to reach a height of 1,500 miles above the Earth and there learn what is to be learned. For an experiment is an operation designed to discover some unknown truth. It is also a risk. When it is 1,400 miles up, all contact with the rocket is suddenly lost.
Right. Standing by. Standing by. Clear radio line to Australia. They'll be on in a few seconds, sir. Would you like the loudspeaker?
Yes, we're all ready for it.
Right. Hello, hello, Taruma. Ready to receive your message. Over.
Hello, England. Hello, England. George Harris reporting from Taruma. 0330 hours West Australian time, 1800 hours Greenwich time. Doppler monitoring has proceeded continuously since last report, but no trace has been recorded or received. Repeat, no trace.
Message received. Thank you, Harris. Same this end, I'm afraid. But we want you to keep on trying. Report in 6 hours, will you? Over.
Message received and signing off.
Okay, Mark.
57 hours now.
Yes, sir.
What can I say, Judith?
If they were in a plane and it was hopelessly overdue, we'd know that they were dead. But in that thing, we just don't know. They may still be alive.
Yes.
What went wrong there? A point on the orbit that shouldn't have meant anything. At least it didn't mean anything to us.
You made every foreseeable allowance.
It's frightening looking at a thing like this for long. Those tiny marks on the plastic, they seem so precise and certain at first. Then they come closer and closer till you see they're only rough scratches. Could it have been like that with our calculations?
My dear, I should never have subjected you to this. When you married Victor 3 years ago, I ought to have taken you off the project.
I wouldn't have gone.
I know. That's what I was selfish enough to tell myself. You're too valuable to me here. Now listen, my dear. All these hours you've been forcing yourself to face the worst facts. Well, face the hopeful ones, too.
Such as?
Well, your husband and the others are not merely brave. They have expert knowledge. They're resourceful. Now, you're going to get some sleep. And under strict orders.
Control room. Just one moment. It's for you, sir. The ministry.
Not Blaker.
I'm afraid so, sir.
Oh, come on.
Hello, Blaker. I told you I'd send word if there was any change. I wish to have like... Report? I thought there was no question of that yet.
Obviously, I don't want to visit this on you, but I've got to keep the committee posted. Believe me, Quatermass, I'm trying to help you. The nastier the facts, the more it matters the way they're presented. The whole question of future development...
Oh, future development, be damned, tell them the facts. But all trace of the rocket ship was lost over 57 hours ago, when it deviated from its estimated path at 25,000 miles per hour.
I've already done so, less bluntly. You're keeping in touch with the Australian base, of course.
Yes, they haven't got anything to report either. Look, I've had enough of this cross-examination. Your committee seemed very concerned over their limited interest, but it's an investment I was never able to guarantee.
You can accept that our sole concern now is for the crew. Frankly, is there any chance of their survival?
Well, equally frankly, I don't... How can anybody answer a question like that? For heaven's sake, what do you imagine my concern is? What... Radio line, quick.
Control room. Yeah, put them on. Hello, Taruma. Ready to receive you. Come in, Taruma.
We're getting a trace. Very faint, and the direction doesn't make any sort of sense. But it's
trace, thank God.
The rocket must be heading back towards the Earth. Confirm you're receiving me.
Receiving you loud and clear. Oh, hold it. Professor Quatermass is taking over.
Hello, Quatermass here. Is the rocket responding to your remote control? Over.
No response to our radio signals as yet. Estimated distance from Earth, 29,000 miles. Correct that to 28,600 miles.
They're having difficulty in tracking.
What's the direction? Can you give us code fixes? Over.
We're going to do our best. Hold on. Stand by. 2934. Repeat, 2934. 106,259. 106,259. 07. 07. Over.
Message received. Stand by to compare further findings. Out.
29, 34, 106, 259, 07.
Approaching at a very steep angle.
Straight down.
Not yet. Everything depends on that curve being confirmed. If it is, they may have a chance.
106259.
That may bring them right round the Earth instead of smack into it.
It's all right, I'm not letting myself go. That curve must be the end of an ellipse.
Yes. Well, it doesn't tell us where they've been, but it can tell us how far they've been.
What's the result?
Something like 380,000 miles into space.
380,000, but that's more than we'd ever planned for.
Half as far again as the moon. You know, when I think about them out there, even now I'm jealous. To be the first, the very first.
Altitude?
Yes, altitude. Altitude 3,200 miles. Well, if it's ever going to respond to our remote control, it should be fairly soon.
Control room. Blake has arrived, sir. He's demanding to see you.
Oh, damn his demands at a time like this. I can't. All right, let him come through.
All right.
You carry on.
Yes, please.
Keep checking that direct contact by manual.
Yes, sir.
What have you got a minute, Lieutenant?
If you're wise, Blaker, you'll realize
We picked up a trace. The Australians got it first, now it's coming through to us.
What, the rocket?
We believe so, yes.
I tell you, hope you're right. What's being done about it?
Well, we're tracking it, waiting for radio response.
From the crew?
From their apparatus, that's more important now.
More important?
Yes, the speech transmitter's been dead for a long time. Our only chance of saving is to attempt separation by remote control. And if we
Separation?
I thought you hadn't understood. Now, just take a look at this model. Now, the rocket's made up of two sections weighing about 1,000-odd tons altogether. Now, in front is the crew section, where those three men are.
Yes.
Now, behind is the atomic propulsor unit. Now, our purpose was modest enough. Gain a height of 1,500 miles, make certain observations there. That would take about 47 minutes. Then, after a single circuit of the Earth, the crew-containing section was to be separated and brought back, leaving the atomic propulsor behind. 940 tons of it, and all dangerously radioactive. We wouldn't attempt to bring that back, even if we could.
You mean it would just stay there?
Forever, or until called for, circling the Earth 1,500 miles up.
Sounds simple enough. Much too simple to accept.
Well, wasn't simple. Something went wrong. We don't know what it was. Probably never shall know. Probably something as simple as valve failure.
But surely...
Oh, you can assure your committee that we had spares and spares of the spares. But instead of turning into the prearranged orbit, like that, the rocket kept gaining speed, shot out into space like that.
And you believe that what you're tracking now is it?
Well, if the path it took happened to be a true ellipse, not just a parabola, then dynamic laws bring it near the Earth again. But unless we're successful in separating the two sections, well, they'll just sweep past, and this time it'll be for good. Well, of course,
1821 112407 0 minus 4.
0 minus 4. That's it.
It's responding.
That's it.
Yes, there's no doubt about it. British control base to BR7. Control base to BR7. Are you receiving me?
Control base to BR7. Hello, BR7. Green. Reichenheim. Karun.
Victor.
Are you able to receive me? Over.
That may mean nothing. The great thing is to get control.
Strong response, sir.
Right, position.
Automatic Doppler's working.
Good. Judith, stand by. Quick changes.
Yes, I will.
I'm going to try and regain control.
No, 419.
Yes, hold on. That's it.
Full response.
You've got it.
All right for a start.
What next? The separation?
As soon as you get the B deviation down to nil. Traveling at 25,000 miles an hour, Blaker.
25,000.
Can we do it?
Deviation .007.
Hello, Taruma base. We've made contact with the rocket. It's obeying remote control. Professor Quatermass is about to attempt separation of sections 1 and 2. Please stand by.
Deviation .002. .001. Nil. Yes.
Wait. That's it.
He's done it. Stand by.
Keep your eyes on it. Sorry. Now for the reversal. Marsh, check gimbal system.
8930. 0.
Right, full response.
0 to 30. 40.
Reversal procedure being carried out. Full response.
You see, Blaker, this is the only way we have of checking velocity. Turn it about and fire propulsion units against the direction of the flight.
Turn completed.
Hello, Taruma. Speed of first stage has been reduced. Descent has begun. Over.
You directing it down to us?
Sir?
No.
No, we can't risk losing control.
It's up to you. Good luck. Over.
Thanks. Please stay in contact. Over.
Well,
You say it.
the very first time we have a chance.
Yes.
Past the Channel coast now.
Velocity?
840 per hour. Check.
845.
It's far too fast for that altitude. The steel paddle brake's not enough now. We shall have to use the other, sir.
Wait, not too soon.
Yes, sir.
Still far ahead of the speed of sound, isn't it?
Yes.
Connect me to all stations.
Full wing drag. Landing gear extended. Still not enough. Marsh!
810.
We've got to use the others.
Quatermass here calling all sections. Now listen carefully, please. The rocket is still under control. We intend to bring it down here in 3 minutes' time. Now, there may be some danger. Go at once to emergency points. Fire and crash brigades, ambulance, stand by.
I'm applying fabric paddle brakes. 1, 2, 3. Great Scott, 3's failed.
720. 690.
What is happening at that altitude? It's impossible.
They must be able to do something. They must. Calling BR7. Are you receiving
That's
me?
useless.
Over.
All rocket motors on 7 seconds.
490.
It's going to fall short. Can't reach the
460.
station. Look here.
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Speed 230. 210.
They're nearly down. They crashed.
Yes, but where? Quickly, where?
Just getting it, sir. Just getting it.
Well?
Only 10 miles away. I make it just southwest of London. Croydon. No, nearer than that.
We must know. We haven't got a minute to lose. Come on.
What is it? Come back here. Don't touch it.
I'm going to.
That was a bomb.
Oh, don't go too near then.
It's red hot.
All that smoke. Oh, it's going to go off. Come here, Len. Come here.
Shut up. It looks sort of like steam.
All that just now. Roaring flames. Oh, my God, Len, it's something dreadful. Come away, Len. You're out of your mind.
Somebody ring the fire brigade and the police.
Oh, Len will be done for.
There'd be the old girl.
What?
Over there in the house. She'd be inside.
They're not going, Len. She's dead. She must be. It's no good.
Look, leave me be. Here, what do you make of this?
Never seen anything like it.
Here, keep clear. It's red hot.
It's one of them things. They finally dropped one. It's going to go off, don't you see?
Here, there's old girl in the house.
Then why didn't you...
Keep away, everybody. This thing may be dangerous. You in those next houses, grab some clothes and get away. Come on.
What is it? What is it?
Len, you thought she's dead. She must be. Len! Oh, you left me. Oh, it's going to go off. It's going to go off.
Look, I'll go round the front way and bust in. Wait a sec. There's somebody up there. Look. Can you get hold of a ladder?
I know where there's one.
Right. Ma, you all right?
Yes, I was trying to catch Henry and put him in his basket.
Right, we'll have you down a moment. That's it. I'll put up here. That was about me.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Would you take Henry first, please?
Right.
Thank
Right, I'll
you.
put it. Yeah. All right. Hang on with it. Yeah, he does it.
Yes.
That's the idea. Take it easy. Spend your time. There.
Thank you so much.
Are you all right now? You're not hurt?
She wouldn't know, man. Never heard a shock.
But what is it, officer? Have they started again?
Look, is there anybody else in there?
Oh, no. Who could there be?
All right.
You know, I was just going to bed, and then the noise came, and that bright light, and poor Henry, he scampered under the dressing table. Oh, dear, what is it?
Here, get it to somewhere safe. I've got to report this.
Okay.
Has that gone off yet?
No, not yet, Ma. Now, come on. Lift your feet up now. That's the
yes.
idea.
Oh, look, my mother's clock. Are you sure that thing hasn't gone off?
No, not yet.
But there must be a report in by now. Look here, old man, you know who I am, and it's not under official secrets anyway, so...
Get it out of him.
No, it was not a guided missile, but it crashed somewhere in South London. Listen, you collect all the reports from the squad cars and men on the beat, don't you? What? Oh, all right, I'll hang on. He says the report just coming in. Hello? Where? West side of Wimbledon Common?
Yeah, let me.
Here's Quatermass himself. Hold on.
Hello. How bad is it? Oh, still whole. Much damage? Any casualties? Oh, thank God. Now, listen, I'm on my way over now. Don't let anybody touch it. And for heaven's sake, keep the fire people off it. Posing a red-hot rocket will blow it up, and there are 3 people inside. Right? Right. Come on, John.
What does he say?
Well, it's still in one piece and not too badly buried. It's more than I'd hoped for.
Anything about them?
No, not yet. The car's outside. Right, come on.
What? How many were killed? Injured? None? Hello. Yes, this is still the news desk. Have you seen the thing yourself? What did it look like? Time? What time did all this happen? Eh? You must know when.
Poor Jacko.
All right, then. How junior can a junior local correspondent be? Gone to ask the men in the next phone box when it happened.
What is it tonight? The man with staring eyes or robbed while they watched television?
Something came down at Wimbledon.
Came down.
Crashed.
Oh, mystery plane. Good night, Jacko.
Sounded more like a flying saucer scare. Lots of stuff about a light in the sky and smoke and... Hello? Only 10 minutes ago. All right, I'll send somebody. Meanwhile, get what you can yourself and phone it in. And wake up!
Flying saucers? Who are you going to send?
Jackson, if he's back. Hello.
I'll do it.
Hello, is Arthur Jackson there? You? But, Jimmy, this is just a straight, right-out job. Not full of love stuff at all.
I need something to denounce, Jacko. After dietitians and graphologists and the English flower show, something that's somebody's fault. Now, lay on a snapshot, will you?
All right. But it's got to be in right away, remember?
Oh, dear. Back on the beat.
If they're so sure it's not a bomb, why treat it like a bomb?
Look, I've told you the instructions.
Leave it dead alone, all right? But there's still smouldering wood inside there that we can't put out because the thing's jammed up against it.
All right, it's not my fault.
Keep back there, will you?
There'll be a report in about this.
Here, is it true the bomb disposal people are on their way over here to delouse it?
Look, I've told you before, keep back.
Well, Leonard, I suppose everyone calls me Len now. Matthews.
Did you make a noise coming down?
Terrifying, that's the word, terrifying. There was this great blare of light, and then the old neighbourhood sort of shuddered.
And smoke everywhere, stinking. I'll tell you, never met anything like it.
I told you to get back.
I've got to get a story.
Now, this is final. Nobody beyond that rope there.
Now, look, we've got a public duty tour, haven't you heard?
Back behind there, please. Tell those people they can't come through. Sergeant, stop them.
1 minute. 1 minute, Inspector. This is Professor Quatermass. He'll be in charge from now on.
Oh, very well, sir.
Professor, you
Now
can...
then.
We've got a heavy casing between them and the outer surface.
Funny. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah, just a bit darker in color.
And yet it's been... Well, you can't just say far. There isn't a word. Their transmitter's probably gone altogether now, but I'll just try it.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello, hello. This is Marsh speaking. Are you receiving me? Over.
No, gentlemen, no statement.
This is absurd. If that thing's a secret weapon, tell us we can use discretion.
I don't doubt it for a moment.
Hey,
but,
look, they're using some sort of walkie-talkie. There must be somebody inside the thing.
I knew it all the time.
Fred, stand by for a picture.
How long do we have to wait?
For 3 or 4 hours, I'm afraid.
I can't, not like this.
You think it's still intact,
As far as I can see, sir, yes.
Professor Quatermass.
Wait a minute.
I thought I knew that face. British Experimental Rocket Group, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's it. Fred.
Some other time, gentlemen,
It's
please.
all right.
Let's have the story. So what is that thing?
It's a rocket,
It's
isn't
been
it?
kept very secret. Where was the takeoff?
Western Australia.
Australia. But it's travelled halfway around the world.
A lot further than that.
You've been conducting an experiment?
Yes.
How many aboard? Do you know who's aboard?
3 men.
Are they safe?
What are their names?
You seem to get no reply on your instrument just now.
Green, Brackenheim, Carew.
Well, what happens now? What are you waiting for?
Mr. Quatermass, what was the object of this experiment?
Stop! Stop the noise! Listen. Do you hear it? The tapping. They're alive.
This is the BBC Light programme. Before the late news summary, here is a special item. Just over 1 hour ago, a British-made rocket vehicle, the first ever to have succeeded in reaching outer space, made a safe crash landing in the area of Wimbledon Common. A product of the British Experimental Rocket Group, it carries a crew of 3 men. They will be unable to leave the rocket until its surface has cooled, but there is reason to suppose they are in good health. In view of the importance of this achievement, and because the appearance of the rocket has given rise to a number of rumors, we shall be relaying a short description of the scene at the end of this bulletin.
Oh, it's a long brief.
Really, Miss Wilde, you don't remember much about it, do you?
No, except that everything fell down, and then I saw my room was quite broken.
Yes, it's indeed tragic that your house should have suffered. But I think we can salute in the story of brave men a brave little lady.
Oh, Henry was brave, too.
Henry?
Yes, my
Oh, yes,
Henry.
indeed. Miss Wilde has her cat with her. He doesn't appear to be at all frightened, does he?
No, not my Henry, no.
The scene here now is one of complete jubilation. There's a tremendous crowd coming in by car, on foot, from every direction. People are singing and cheering. I can even see some barrow boys over there cashing in. Oh, yes, and here now to pick up the story is Mr. Leonard Matthews, who lives nearby, and I believe was first on the scene, weren't you, Mr. Matthews?
Yes. Well, I seen this great blare of
The
light.
man was out of the house in a flash.
Mrs. Matthews?
Not a moment's hesitation. Just as he was all through the blitz. I think he ought to have a medal.
Oh, I don't know.
Mr. Matthews, what did you see exactly?
Well, there was all this here smoke, and I got busy putting out the fire.
Can't we signal again?
We've answered once.
To let them know where they are, that we're here.
Well, that mean a lot of hammering on the hull, and it might be dangerous.
Professor Quatermass.
Yes?
BBC interviewer waiting.
Can't be bothered with that.
I think you ought to, Quatermass.
This way, please.
We're making history. We're making history. We're making history.
Well, it's very difficult for me to say. I'm not exactly in a senior position, you see. I
Listen,
wouldn't like
my
to
dear
take-
fellow, you know what's the matter with you, don't you? You're too modest. That's what's the matter. You're too modest. Go and tell them. Tell them that you invented it.
No, but I didn't. Go and take a jump.
Yes, you did. You're too modest. He did it, really. But you're too modest altogether. Now, you ought to be not so modest as you are. I don't know why you are like that.
Professor Quatermass, it's true to say, isn't it, that this atomic rocket, the very first of its kind, is a tremendous technical advance.
Well, yes, I dare say we have surprised a few people.
Oh, I should say so indeed. Designed and built entirely by British brains and muscle. And now, Professor, can you tell us something about the crew?
Well, we shan't know that for a few hours.
Well, no, sir. I meant some personal details. Who are they
I'm
exactly?
sorry. Well, the senior member is my friend and colleague, Charles Green. He's responsible for navigation. Well, we employ automatic piloting, of course, and our own remote control.
I see, yes. Is Mr. Green married?
Yes, oh, yes. His wife arrives by comet tomorrow from Australia.
I see. Who else?
Well, then there's Dr. Ludwig Reichenheim. I expect you remember his experiments with rockets in Germany before the war, don't you?
Oh, yes, indeed I do, yes.
Well, the youngest member is Victor Caroon. He's responsible for as engineer and radio operator. And
Sort of
so
general gadgets, etc. Is he married?
Yes. As a matter of fact, his wife is my first assistant.
Oh, really?
Yes, she's over there.
Oh, it must have been a frightfully anxious time for her, for you all.
Yes.
But we hope soon now to have some good news of these three valiant Britons, or British subjects. Thank you, Professor. Oh, yes, and now here's the wife of one of them, Mrs.
Caroon.
Mrs. Caroon. There's no need for me to tell you how much all listeners must sympathize with your great anxiety.
Oh, thank you.
Tell me, how does it feel to be married to one of the first three men to reach the outer space?
I'll know that when I see him.
Yes, of course. You weren't able to go to Australia?
No, my work here.
Yes, of course. If you don't mind my asking, what was your farewell message?
Oh, it was silly. Just the sort of thing people always say at a serious time like that. I think I said, take care of yourself, darling, and don't forget to bring me something back.
A sort of present from outer space, so to speak.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Mrs. Caroon. Well, now, listeners, as nothing more is going to happen here for some hours, I'm returning you to the studio. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Well, okay, pack up.
You know the trouble with you
Now,
is
sir,
that
my
you're
dear
too
sir,
modest.
really you must.
Give me
No,
that. You're too modest.
Officer.
How dare you put your hands on me like that? How dare you? You're a lot of ruddy, modest English varlets. The whole lot of you.
All right, keep it quiet.
It's fascinating, Professor Quatermass, that elemental excitement children feel with a brown paper parcel that's just waiting to be opened. The longer you wait, the more exciting it gets. Is that why you don't pull the string, Professor?
That'll sound better in your column tomorrow than it does now.
I expect so, if I'm not frozen stiff before then. Oh, how touching. They sent an ambulance for me.
Check temperature again.
Yes, sir.
Quite cool now. It's about 100 degrees.
Ambulance standing by.
Thank you, Inspector.
How do you mean to do it, sir?
By remote control, if we can, as soon as we get contact again.
Otherwise, you'll have to tear the parcel open. Is that it? Just look at that crowd watching in dead silence. Little boys who look anxiously over your shoulder, Professor.
Sir.
See them watching now, standing on tiptoe, pressing forward. Not a word spoken. That's it.
It is Victor.
He's alive, thank God. Sit down. Sit down. Marsh.
He's breathing
You're
normally.
back. You're safe.
He'll be all right.
Quick, the access chamber to the motor.
Mr. Green, Dr. Reichenheim. I don't understand. How could they? There's nobody there. There's no sign of either of them.
What's that?
They're gone. They're gone.
What's going on? I don't see. Picture, Fred. As a matter of interest, this happens to be news. What's Marsh talking about? What's the matter? They're not inside. But unless they opened the door and got swept away.
I've checked all the instruments. That door hasn't been opened till now.
Victor, where are the others?
Victor! Victor! What happened?
After it has been lost in outer space for 57 hours following a mechanical failure, Professor Bernard Quatermass is able to re-establish remote control over the world's first manned space rocket when it swings again near the Earth. He is assisted by Judith Caroon, the mathematician wife of one of the rocket's crew, and his control engineers John Patterson and Marsh. It is brought down in an emergency landing near Wimbledon, and throughout the night a huge crowd waits anxiously for the rocket to cool. When the door is opened, one man emerges, Victor Caroon. He seems dazed and unable to speak. And when the professor and Marsh enter the rocket to look for Dr. Reichenheim and Charles Green, the other members of the crew,
There's no sign of either of them. They're gone. They're gone.
What? What's he talking about? They're not inside. But they must be unless they opened the door and got swept away.
Checked all the instruments. That door hasn't been opened until now.
Victor, where are the others?
Victor, what happened?
He doesn't seem able to talk. Oh, he's so cold.
Victor, wake up. Wake up. You've got to answer my question.
Stop
Victor,
that. Leave him alone.
On the way back.
You're back. You're home, Victor. Don't you know me?
Judith.
Oh, but he doesn't. He's so ill.
Yes, shock and exhaustion. Let's get him out of here. Inspector? No, gospel truth. There isn't a sign. There's nowhere in sight they could possibly be. I don't understand.
Inspector, ambulance, quickly.
All right. No, don't try to get him out of it here. Lift him. Give him complete support. That'll be better than that stretcher.
I'm sorry to trouble you, Mr.
That's
Caroon.
this man's ill. He can't be interviewed.
He's a national hero, Inspector. Don't you realize that? Picture, Fred. Whatever he's been through, he's the first man in the history of the world to have done it. Tell us. We want to know, too.
That's enough.
What was it like?
Support him along there.
No, wait, Caroon.
Cold. Help
Oh,
me.
Victor, take him to the ambulance quickly.
Make way there. Let them through, Sergeant.
You know, that suit they wear, it is like they show in the comic magazines after all. Ah, Professor Quatermass, any statement to make now, sir?
I'm afraid I must confirm that Mr. Green and Dr. Reichenheim are missing.
Any theory about what happened?
I suppose there's no chance at all of their being alive.
Well, I'd prefer not to say. We must Find out more details from the base in Australia about the takeoff.
Why? Is there any doubt they were ever in the rocket?
Mr. Green's wife is arriving by comet later today. Dr. Gordon Briscoe, he's been responsible for the fitness and training of the crew in Australia. They may have something to tell us.
But surely you know whether or not the rocket took off with a full crew.
I'm sorry, I've no statement to make.
Well, haven't you kept in touch with the Australian base? Surely if there's a possibility of a mistake as big as
Yes,
that...
what about the distance this thing's supposed to have travelled?
Is there any doubt about that now?
I suppose there's no chance of Reichenheim and Green arriving by comet too.
What paper do you represent? On behalf of the press, I apologize.
I assure you there will be a statement as soon as possible.
Why not now?
All right, that's enough. If you're agreeable, I should rather like to have a look myself.
Of course. Come along.
Right. Oh, Mitchell. Nobody else passed here.
Very good, sir.
What sort of alibi was he handing out? You know, I've got a good mind to go in there after them.
Now, you heard what the inspector said.
Now listen, it's not a secret weapon, is it?
Now, look, no good hanging on here, only lose time.
Yes, we'd better get the space hero into print while he is one.
So this is it.
Yes, you can call it snug or abominably cramped, whichever you like. Food supplies, recording apparatus, transmitter, vision monitor, remote control bunks for the crew. And strapped down on those during takeoff.
How far did you say it traveled?
384,672 miles. Find any trace?
Been down below, sir. There's nothing.
Mr. John Patterson, Inspector, one of the chief members of my staff.
Oh, how do you do, sir?
Inspector?
Where did this lead to?
Well, that's a certain limited access to the propulsion units.
For any maintenance during flight, that is.
I see. But no way out?
No, this is the only entrance. If you have more, you add to your pressure problems.
And that's where we get the mystery, Professor. Inspector, you know, take a look at this. You must accept our word for it, but this indicates beyond any question that that door remains sealed throughout the entire flight.
What? Why did you have to leave this to me? I'm afraid that won't mean much to you, Inspector.
The door must have been opened. Whatever this gadget is, couldn't it have gone wrong?
I dare say. As inventors, we're not infallible. Past 2 days have shown us that.
I remember I once saw a film about well, I suppose you'd call this a spaceship. Men opened the door and went out. They were there. But they seem to float.
That's quite correct. In space, nothing has weight, you know.
Yes, and one of them got lost. Could that happen in reality?
Yes, it could.
Oh, by the way, when they went out in the film, they were wearing these, what do you call them?
Pressure suits.
Yes. Well, to get through that door alive, they'd have to use those, wouldn't they?
Yes.
Then why is this here? That door must have been opened. Professor Quatermass, I shall have to report this whole business. I shall have to report it in any case.
Yes.
It would be helpful if we could have one of these suits for examination.
Yes, of course. Collect it whenever you like.
Oh, thank you.
Why didn't you want him to know about that door?
That's something I've got to work out.
It hadn't been opened, had it?
John, I want all these instruments dismantling as soon as possible. We've got to find out what went wrong with that transmitter. Then there's a sound recorder. I'll get Marsh to help you. I'm going over to the hospital. Ring if there's anything.
All right, sir.
Whitney made a far better job of that technical waffle than I'd ever have given him credit for.
Not a bad special edition. Finish your tea, James. You surprised me, too, you know, in a different way, of course.
Did I?
I knew it was going to be tricky, but I thought you were going to roast them. Yes. Just on my way now, darling. We've been busy. Yes, you can put the bacon on for breakfast.
Excuse me, James. I find I'm not a cynic, Jacko. I'm troubled when I see an eminently truthful man driven to petty evasions.
This professor, you mean?
Yes. At the end there, he was stalling desperately. And badly. For a moment, he looked ready to recant the whole story.
There. There's no chance of a hoax, is there?
I was there, Jacko. Now, granted he'd been through days of frightful strain, makes history and finds he's lost 2 valued friends all in the same moment. But that doesn't make him tell fibs.
What do you make of it, then?
Something had alarmed him so much, he felt he had to hide it. This technical waffle of witness space velocities, synergic curves, mass ratios, all spaceship jargon. Do you get the feel of that?
It's above my head, I know that much.
It's mankind trying to sound certain of itself, Jacko. Because he knows that just beyond the air begins a new wilderness. Pitch dark both day and night. Empty and cold.
You need breakfast as much as I do, so consider yourself invited. Come along, James, the story's written.
Now, I have an idea we haven't started yet, Jacko. Thanks for the offer, though.
Just as you like.
Hello? I want to find out about the Comet Air Service from Australia. Yes, arriving today.
Try, darling. Try to remember. Were they hurt?
Hurt? There was no...
Curious. Each time it's almost an answer, but not quite on. Karoon, listen to me. Did they go outside? Did they go out?
Outside. From outside.
Was the door opened? Karoon, try to remember.
Open.
What, the door, was it?
Inspector, this must stop. Doctor said no excitement, and look at him.
His hands. No, he can't bear to be touched, as if it were painful.
Extraordinarily cold.
Yes, I know. The doctors talk about shock symptoms, but it's far too extreme.
Please, not in front of the patient.
Oh, I'm sorry, sister. It's my fault. Look, could I have a word with you over here?
Yes, of course.
Oh, Sergeant. Stay by him in case he says anything.
Right, sir.
This was the clothing he was wearing inside that outfit.
Dr. Briscoe designed them specially for the experiment. They're made of linked layers of nylon. Each joins onto the next as you put them on. That makes it more wearable under the pressure suit.
But it would be difficult to say removed from a sick person.
Yes, it was.
Yes, of course. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Karoon. But we're investigating this case as one of missing persons. There's an awful lot that's hard to understand at the moment, or to believe. Now, apart from your personal involvement, you are a technical expert on the background. You've been the professor's first assistant for 2 years.
On the mathematical side, yes.
So you'll be more than likely to recognize significant facts, or to give a meaning to anything he manages to say.
I suppose so.
Yes, of course. Look, you'll always reach me at this number. Chief Inspector Lomax, please don't hesitate.
Thank you.
All right, Bess. I hope it's only a temporary condition. Silly advice, but try not to worry too much.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Mrs.
Goodbye.
Can't be.
What is it?
I don't think he took it properly. Perhaps I should see the doctor. I'm afraid you can't come in here.
It's all right, I've seen the doctor. Judith.
I have strict instructions
I'm sorry.
that no one is to be admitted.
It's all right, sister.
I shall have to report this.
How is he? Still this abnormal cold.
Yes, even the heat cradle doesn't seem to help, or the drugs.
Victor.
Victor. Yes.
Quatermass here. Victor, look at me.
All around. All around.
Look at me, Victor.
Sometimes he does see you, and then nothing. And the things he says are almost like delirium.
Victor!
Oh, it's useless. His memory's gone, or his brain must have been damaged, or...
Don't stop.
I can't bear it any longer. I can't bear
That's
it.
more than anybody could be expected to bear.
You don't understand.
He's going through the first reaction. It can't last. As soon as you know what he's undergone, the symptoms... it's-
Don't comfort me. All those hours of waiting. The anxiety when the rocket was... I did want him to come back. I did. You've got to believe that. You've got to, but we...
Go on.
We weren't happy. We tried very hard, but somehow he... Oh, never mind. Months ago, before he went to Australia, I'd made up my mind to leave him.
Is he? Who is it? May I know?
Gordon.
Briscoe? Might have guessed.
We were going to be quite honest. Tell him as soon as the flight was over. And then when the rocket didn't return, I felt so disloyal. Almost as if I'd caused it to happen. I couldn't bear it. I wanted him to come back more than anything else in the world. And now he's like that. I won't ever leave him.
You'll have to tell Gordon.
I will.
Oh, well, there's not much that I can say.
No.
Poor devil. Going to need you now, if ever he did. Your care.
Do you notice his face?
Yes.
Well, I thought pressure effects didn't last.
Who else has been here?
Oh, I forgot to tell you, 2 men from Scotland Yard.
What did they
Well, they
want?
questioned him and said they were looking into the case.
They did more than that. He's been fingerprinted. A hasty job by the look of it.
Fingerprinted, but they can't suspect it. What are you going to do?
I'm going to get him out of here right away. Sister! Sister!
Hello? British Experimental Rocket Group? The research station? No, is Professor Quatermass back yet? No. No message.
Fingerprint report will be up in half an hour.
Well, I can't see there was much point in it, but it may help.
Well, he didn't object.
We trust that the immeasurable courage and daring by which he has accomplished this mighty feat for his country will be suitably and quickly rewarded. Now, that's the man whose fingerprints you've just been taking.
Yes, sir.
Do you read science fiction best?
No, sir.
Well, we'd better start to catch up on fact. Just look at all this. Every one full of hero worship. You know, whatever comes to light in this business is going to be tricky to handle.
There's a Professor Quatermass here, sir. Got one of your cards, and he's very insistent.
Show him in.
This way, sir.
Inspector Lomax.
Ah, Professor, just the man we want to see. Take a seat. You know, without a certain amount of help from you...
Why are you treating Victor Caroon as a suspect in a criminal case?
Oh, come, Professor. That's rather hard. When the Wimbledon police report, we have to make
If I can
inquiries.
save you any time, this contains particulars of all 3 members of the crew. Charles Green, Ludwig Reichenau, and Victor Caroon. Find it all there. Personal descriptions, medical histories, academic achievements, professional activities, politics, and fingerprints. I am convinced that the only inquiry likely to serve a useful purpose is a scientific one, and I propose to carry that out myself. I've had Caroon transferred from the hospital. Good day.
To your research station?
Subpoena me and I'll answer that.
Just one moment, Professor, if you please. Would you mind taking a look at this? Bess, give us that contraption. We obtained this from the rocket this morning with your permission. It belongs to one of the missing men. It's just as you discovered it last night.
As far as I can see, yeah.
Look, I believe specially designed clothing is worn with it underneath. Now, if it were being removed from a body, I said if, this would go first, followed by the link sections of the inner garment.
Well, you can't just slip out of it, if that's what you mean. Each section has to be...
It's all there in one piece, linked. There must be some fairly simple explanation. I thought perhaps you'd be able to help us, Professor. Can you?
Must have time to consider this.
That shook him.
You know, it's as clear-cut as this. A, he's on a level with Marco Polo and Christopher Columbus, and B, it's some sort of hokum.
How likely is B? You know Quatermass's reputation?
Yes, of course, but what happens when we go to the hospital? Caroon is too ill to be seen or moved. Then detectives see him and he is moved, smuggled out. The whole thing's getting pettier and pettier. Why?
Ask it in print.
Look, I don't want to doubt the story. I just want to know more.
Perhaps it's murder.
It'll be our time to pick by pushing somebody off Mount Everest.
You know, I'd like to bet they won't be met here after all those evasions and excuses this morning.
Then where's the alternative?
Well, you've got to know your way about. And I think I know.
Perhaps he does at that.
You're on time, Professor Quatermass.
What? Oh, you.
James Fullerlove, Daily Gazette.
You'll be waiting here for me. I'm sorry, I've got nothing to say.
Oh, I like to watch the aeroplanes.
Can I go this way? I'm meeting some people off this plane. It's essential I meet them privately.
I am very sorry, sir.
People are looking this way, Professor. Two old ladies over there, a party of Belgian tourists there. That man who's just bought a newspaper to confirm it really is the famous Professor Quatermass. You can't escape them, Professor. You've done something to their lives.
What are you talking about?
New horizons, of course.
Very nice trip indeed. No doubt about it.
There he is. Tell me what happened. In Rome, there were newspapers with silly, ridiculous reports. They were all contradictory.
I told her not to believe anything until she saw you.
There's a room over here,
No,
Gordon.
no, tell me now, please.
I'm sorry.
Charlie. Charlie was gone.
I'm afraid there was some sort of accident. Let me explain on the way.
I don't understand. I want to know.
Not here, please, Mrs.
I want to know.
I'm here to watch the airplanes.
Will passengers on VOAC flight number 24 to Sydney please take leave of their friends?
Well, there's nobody here either. They must have had a plain van planted.
There they are. Come on.
Those three men were in the rocket when it took off.
So you got the story.
No.
Well, I admit they're indistinct, sir.
Indistinct, they're a mess.
Well, I didn't botch them, I'm certain of that. Heaven knows I've taken enough fingerprints in my life.
That means the ones in Quatermass's file aren't his. They botched it then.
Yeah, well, that's more likely. Just a minute, though. You see those two tented arches?
Yes.
Identical, absolutely.
Yes, but on the other hand, look at the central pocket loops. No. There's no scar there.
Yeah, that's central pocket loop. Well, I must be suffering from eye strain. I thought I'd noticed it in... Now, memory, don't let me down.
Look, those files belong to the other two men. Come on, let's get back to work.
The identical central pocket loop.
What? Yes.
Take it easy, Vic. There's nothing to worry about.
Nothing?
No.
There's nothing here.
That blood pressure, it's almost impossibly low. Pulse, temperature, reflexes, all exactly the same.
It's perfectly fit before takeoff.
Oh, strong as a horse.
Possible effects of acceleration pressure. That was the part we always had to guess at.
Well, during testing, he took 17 times the force of gravity without even a headache to show for
When
it.
that rocket went out of control, they may have had to take 30 gravities. If that didn't kill them, it might
No
just...
temporary changes. They'd pass off him in a few seconds. It's not just his face, you know.
Yes, I suspected that.
I'll show you. Victor. I don't think it'll do him any harm to hear us talking. I doubt if he takes it in. Now, I have a fairly accurate knowledge of the constitution of these three men after hundreds of examinations during testing.
Well?
Well, first of all, and this is the less important, take a look at the skin, anywhere. Here on the shoulder.
Swollen. Coarsened, is that what you mean?
That's the way it would look under a strong magnifying glass. Only there's no glass. Did the doctors at the hospital say anything about that?
No. Far too concerned with the abnormal temperature. Well, go on. What else have you found?
I'd rather not say until I've taken some X-ray plates tomorrow.
Bone structure?
I could be wrong about the length of a limb if there'd been cartilage shrinkage, but not about the shape of the bones. There's been a change. I'm convinced of it.
Change.
All right, Victor.
Changing. Go back.
Easy.
This means something. Victor, what was changing? When was it, Victor? Was it something in the rocket that changed? Oh, Gordon, I don't like this. I've always been secretly afraid that sometimes something would happen that we couldn't deal with.
Well, I'll do everything I can to help.
I don't just mean Caroon.
Come along, let's get this over you.
What we can be responsible for. You know, 30 years ago, I'd almost decided to devote my life to land surveying in the tropics. That at least would have harmed only myself.
I'll get him something to step up the metabolic rate.
Have you found out anything?
Well, all we know is that it's definitely not due to radiation effect from the atomic propulsor. For the rest, I'll put him under detailed examination as soon as he's gained more strength.
She insists on seeing him tonight. I've done all I can. Told her he remembers nothing, but it doesn't make any difference.
Somebody else to be responsible for. Gordon, do you agree to this interview?
Yes.
Right. I'll have a word with her first.
What harm is it going to do?
Mrs. Green? Oh, she's nearly crazy with anxiety. Just to see him might be an answer of sorts.
And Victor?
Well, I suppose anything's liable to jog his memory, a word, a face. You can't tell.
He's had several injections in the hospital.
It's all right. I've made a check. He didn't even feel it.
Gordon.
Yes?
I'm staying, you know.
With him? Yes.
There he is, over there.
I know.
Remember, don't expect anything.
Victor, it's Mrs. Green. But he's different. Shh. Oh, look at him. His eyes, his expression.
He's a very sick man. Victor, try to remember.
What happened to my husband in the rocket? You must know. His eyes, he understands. Can't he talk? What's the matter with him?
The rock.
Go on, Victor. Go on. Tell me about Charlie and Dr. Reichenheim. What happened to them? Oh, you've got to tell me.
The rocket. All
That's right. You were all inside, and then something went wrong, and you went too far away.
far away. Lou.
Lou! Did you hear that, Lou? Charlie always used to call me that. Didn't like Louisa. They must have talked about me when they were lost out there. He remembers.
Victor, what did he say about Lou? Try and remember what he said. You can only get him started.
Tell me, Victor.
Cold. Cold, Lou.
Go on. It's Lou. I'm here.
Stop it.
Oh, what's he trying to
He
say?
can't
What
remember
is-
anything, Mrs. Green. Can't you see? It's only upsetting
I
you.
want to stay.
Sit down, come sit down.
But if you...
Good. I've got an idea now, listen. Gordon, that film you brought back of the takeoff.
Oh, yes, I handed that to Marsh.
Marsh, he's back, is he?
Yes.
Marsh, Quatermass, did you and Patterson locate that? Oh, he's still out there, is he? Now, listen. That film that Dr. Briscoe brought back from Taruma, of the takeoff. Yes. Now, I want that setting up for projection in 3 minutes' time. Is it all right? Right? Judith, take it through to the projection room.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to try something else on that.
Yes, but
Please,
suppose the...
please. Gordon, I'll do anything to bring his memory back, anything. Get him wrapped up. I want him to see that picture.
Your shock tactics can't be relied on, you know. You can't help Green and Reich.
I'll take full responsibility.
Bernard, you are afraid of something.
Get him moving.
You've no need to worry, my dear. He'll get well. I know he will. And sooner or later he'll remember everything and tell us all.
You must try to keep calm, Mrs. Green.
You didn't know my husband well, did you, my dear?
I worked with him.
Oh, that's not the same thing. He was a very orthodox man, you know. In books, they like to make scientists absent-minded, untidy people. Charlie was always very particular.
Steady, bring him over here.
Trying to walk by himself.
Careful.
Balance must be
I'm going
affected
to
by
bring
being
him in
weightless all that time in the rocket.
Yes. We're all ready, son. All right, Marsh. Now, Victor, I want you to watch that screen over there. Are you hearing me? Watch that screen and try to remember.
Try to remember.
That's it.
VR-7, 2 hours before takeoff from Taruma. The methane propellant pipe was disconnected under the supervision of Mr. Green.
Charlie, there he is.
The rehearsed routine of checks was completed. Every item connected with the flight was examined according to schedule. Propulsion chamber, control apparatus, food supplies, pressure clothing. I sorted the suits myself, of course. Well, then we took a sort of last-minute record.
Well, this feels a bit pompous, but I just want to say I hope we make it. That's all. And I only wish my wife were coming too.
Dr. Reichenheim was feeling pretty cheerful.
How can anybody look heroic wearing the spare part of a vacuum cleaner? If this lot fizzles out, I hope it's on an island with lots of pretty girls. Warum soll man sich denn Sorgen machen? Auf dieser Welt und in der nächsten.
Speaking German just to tease Victor. He knew he didn't understand. Oh, and here's Victor himself.
Well, this is it. I only hope I'm able to do my sums properly when the time comes. I've got a Union Jack in case we happen to land on Mars. Just a word with the wife. Bye-bye, darling. Take care of yourself. And I'll do my best to bring you back something, say a meteorite for the mantelpiece. Bye-bye, darling.
And then the takeoff.
Victor?
Victor, do you remember now? You must.
Bring something back.
Oh, why did I say that?
If only I could have gone.
No reaction. Nothing.
Sorry, Louisa. I've upset you for nothing.
No. Charlie was there. I was with him.
Come with me, Mrs. Green.
Still the sound recorder in the rocket. We'll try that next.
No, you've no right to go on testing him like this. He's in no state.
What harm is he doing? I've got to know, I tell you.
I'm so helplessly ignorant here.
What am I, Gordon? Am I Mrs. Charlotte or...
Sorry. That film made me remember at any rate.
Yes.
What was that last thing Reichenheim said just now?
Oh, my German's not very good. I think it was, Warum soll man sich den Sorgen machen?
Auf dieser Welt.
So he got that.
Oder in der nicht.
I didn't know he spoke German.
Neither did I. Ask him a technical question on the rocket.
How is the gimbal system decontrolled?
Wie kann man das Gimbal-System von der automatischen Schaltung loslösen?
Durch Ausschaltung des automatischen Servomotors von den Schweberachten.
Through declutching the automatic servo motors from their independent axis.
Complete answer. Ask him his name.
Ihr Name ist...
Dr. Ludwig.
Inspector Lomax here, sir. Would you come right away?
No further announcement concerning the two men missing from the British rocket vehicle which landed last night on Wimbledon Common. The sole occupant, Victor Caroon, is at present in hospital recovering from shock and exhaustion. It is confirmed...
A little out of date, aren't they, Professor? You'll bring him here?
What can I do for you, Inspector?
Straight to the point. That's what I like. I'm returning those personal files.
Obviously you didn't find what you wanted.
Not what I expected. I take it you knew we fingerprinted Caroon this morning?
Yes.
I'd like to repeat the procedure.
Now, look here.
Officially.
All right. I've just gone to his quarters with Dr. Briscoe.
You found out anything yet?
Nothing that's evidence?
Changed your views about the door?
No.
Well, alive or dead, they went out of it. That much is certain.
Is it? Quatermass. Oh, yes, John. Did you find... Oh. As simple as that, eh? Huh. Hold on, John. Patterson's found the defect in the control apparatus. An electrical fault. Thank you, John. What? What? Where? All right. Yes, I'll be over right away. Marsh! Get Dr. Briscoe quickly. We're going over to the rockets. You better come, sir.
What is it? What did you say?
He's found something.
What?
It was when I was checking the safety casing of the wiring. It's in behind here.
Show me.
I'll better ring out straight away, sir.
Can you get at it, Doctor?
sort of powder, but it's heavy. And I'd say colloidal, organic. Is there any more of it?
Yes. I tested different points. That stuff's everywhere, lining the wall behind the gridding. Centrifugal force might have spread it outwards from... Well, from here.
A lot of it?
Yeah. What went on here? What did it do to them?
You'll be able to see the next episode of the Quatermass Experiment next Saturday evening at 9:15.